What were we going about?
Nazis built the pyramids, the aliens started the Holocaust. It's just...
We're talking about serial killers today. They're ghosts.
It's only going to get worse from here. Welcome everybody to the Calling Couple podcast. I am your host, Gage, along with my wonderful psychotic psychopath, Harley Quinn wannabe.
You better start this over right the fuck now. I will murder you.
See what I mean? No, this is my beautiful co-host, Sage. And
Thank you.
I mean, unless you wanted to be Miss Independent and had to introduce yourself. Nah, that's it.
Nah, you got me today. I'll make sure you remember my name this time.
Or just not doing it ass backwards of like, I am your host, Sage, along with, oh, fuck.
Yeah, you do that so much.
So today, honestly, we're just going to kind of go on a tangent of some stuff. But before we get into the tangent, I want to kind of correct some stuff for our regular listeners, or if you guys go back and listen to any of the other episodes that we had.
No regular listeners
Hey,
yet.
you never know. You never know. They might be hearing this at a future date and be like, wait, there's others? I'm going back. So,
My God.
there it was.
You are
There it was.
disgusting.
So for like our first actual, instead of the introduction and all that, the first one we did with serial killers, there was three little things that one mess up and two that I couldn't remember.
He's really good at fucking things up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My life, first of all.
I was gonna say that never mind. I didn't want to get too graphic. But so I do want to fix a couple things that I had or I had forgotten about or I had fucked up on. So first off, the dating game killer. All right, you remember that one? And in the episode, I said Jeffrey Alcala, but it's actually Rodney Alcala. Rodney Alcala. Yeah. So, and then the baby killer, how we couldn't think of her name.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually several women that are put down as baby killers, and it was really hard to find the one that I was thinking of, but I actually did. I did. No, the one that I was.
Women are terrible.
Well, the one that I had fucking thought of was Amelia Dyer. She was the one that would run the baby factory or baby farm, really, and kill them with the string around their neck and all that kind of stuff. That was the one that we were trying.
String them with their own umbilical cords.
Well, no, good God, no. She
Just saying.
She would get them way after birth. Like, come on now.
No, I'm just saying.
But then there was also the family out in Kansas that I was talking about. How and they were never caught and all that. They were known as the Bloody Benders, as Ma Bender, Pa Bender, John Bender. But yeah, no, that's it. I mean, the Bloody Benders, Amelia Dyer, and Rodney Alcala were the really big things that I couldn't think of during that episode. But other than that, we're gonna move on. We're gonna really talk about something that we fucking saw today. That really kind of got to us.
Yeah, we're on a tangent about something today, so we thought we might as well share it.
Yeah, and it kind of goes on the same lines of talking about the serial killer episode, and this is kind of be a little bit of just a tangent, not an actual episode of serial killers, but just a tangent of it, because this one really was.
I don't want to accidentally repeat anything we've already been saying in the first one.
Yeah, no. This one's what. So what we are going to talk about is the fact that what we watched, that fucking. Like, not Dybbuk box, but it was the dark web box openings that we watched, and how this guy went through the last several.
When that was such a fad back, like in 2017.
2017, 2018.
It went for a few years, so I can't remember what year it started. I know it ended around 2018 though. Yeah,
because he was.
But it had been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Before that.
So I mean, dude, getting those boxes, that would be so creepy. Because like at first it was like, this is kind of weird, like kind of fucking creepy and all that. Of like the little.
What is? You have not explained what it is yet.
Well, the dark web box.
What is a dark web box?
It could be any fucking thing that this person that you find on the dark web will send you.
Would be on the dark web? What is it? Like, we haven't explained that yet.
I don't fucking know, because I've never been on the dark web.
You don't have to say illegal. You can say nefarious things happen on the dark web. Things that you wouldn't want other people knowing that you're there for.
True. Okay. So, like, if you wanna have like voyeurs pictures or videos of your mom, you can go to the dark web and possibly hire somebody to come do that for you. Then you pay them to get it back to you.
Well, I wasn't gonna go into details like you're doing. I was just trying to give like a gist.
Well, I mean,
but anyways, you can buy boxes on there of like pretty bad stuff, and this guy decided to do that.
Well, and I'm also going to say this. We are not condoning anybody going on the dark web, because that is still illegal from all the things that they do on there. We have not been on there, but we have heard stories of other people that have been on there, and trust us, you don't want to go there. Dude.
And the people who are doing box openings on YouTube about the dark web and all that kind of stuff, it's incriminating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and they say that in their videos. They say, like, should we turn all this in over to evidence? Because it will incriminate ourselves because we bought this off the dark web.
Yep. So, I mean, it's definitely one of those places that if you want to be a sick, twisted motherfucker, that's where it is. But you don't, like, if you aren't, stay the hell away from it, because
it'll fuck you up real fast.
Real fucking fast.
And you can go to jail because somebody on the dark web wanted you to.
Oh, yeah. Just
like, oh, look, an innocent, stupid person. Let me just send them all of this stuff, incriminate them, and they can go down for something I did.
Yeah, if you're worried about somebody hacking into your phone and taking your nudes and posting them out there, these guys will do these guys will do way worse. These guys have no fucks given. They do not care. So it's one of those, if you go on the dark web, proceed with caution at your own fucking risk, and we're not condoning it. So
like, the regular internet is dangerous enough.
Yeah, no shit.
Let's not include the dark web.
Yeah, and the dark web's full of hackers, pro fucking hackers, like not your typical run-of-the-mill high school, like, oh, I got into the principal's laptop and I found out that he's sleeping with the science teacher shit. These guys are guys that will go through every little bit of your fucking computer, add shit to your computer, get on your stuff, and fucking, like, once they get into your computer, or they can get into your phone, they can get into anything that you were signed into.
It's as if they're sitting right there in your house.
Mm-hmm. And they're just watching you, and that's what they do. That's what they like to do. Yeah. So, back to where we were. The box that he got, though, with like all the children's clothing, the books that he was getting, and
it was so
all
creepy.
It was very
Voodoo
creepy.
Dolls,
yeah,
hair,
and this was
teeth.
all in one fucking box.
Ugh.
Now, then he gets a USB drive of some really fucked up shit, and you guys can go on right here on YouTube and find this guy that has done this
video we're talking about.
Yeah, he's actually had several videos of this happening.
This has been a few years back, right?
Yeah, 2018 was his first box that he got, and then the most recent, I believe, was 21.
Yeah, the reason he stopped doing all of that, and it is a really good like little short documentary he did of himself.
And it really is. So we're not going to go into too much detail about it, but there was so much stuff in there that when he was doing his final video of why he didn't put out video number 2, because we just heard the snippet of video number 2, and Jesus Christ.
I can't believe he found that. I can't believe he found that.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. He only played like maybe 4 seconds.
I don't know.
4 seconds of that fucking video, and it was
the shit we're talking about is not from the boxes he ordered from the dark web.
No. Yeah,
he got like coordinates on this box that he ordered from the dark web. No, he only ordered the first one. The other 2, weren't they just sent to him?
He was looking to get more, and he started thinking that it was the same person sending this stuff to him, because of course, it's the dark web. It's all anonymous. He can change his profile and all that kind of stuff, and still be looking at him.
Yeah.
And he could just be like, "Oh, okay."
And of all the people in the world, the second box he bought was still exact from the same freaking thing.
Well, the 3 boxes that he got total.
Yeah.
He thinks it all came from that one person.
And then
because he did get threatening messages on his computer. His computer was hacked.
Yes.
Even though it was all supposed to be anonymous and all that kind of shit, and he didn't even get the dude his home address, he still got threatening messages from this person.
Yeah.
That he received the first box from.
It wasn't even like text messages or nothing. It was an icon on his freaking home laptop.
Yeah.
Or his home computer.
Yeah, his home computer, all of a sudden this new icon just pops up.
There was a random ass new icon. Some of you are probably out there like, oh my god, I remember that. Like, I follow that guy or some shit like that. Well, I'm sorry, but we just now watched that. Shit.
Yeah, they're just like, you guys
This is so old. This is old news. Old news, guys.
Yeah, like, Jesus, way to keep up with the trends, people.
We're not, we have said that many times. We do not keep up with the trends.
Don't.
But we'll bring them back. We will refresh your memory. We'll be like, oh my god, yeah, I remember. I forgot I was passionate about that at one time. And I remember some of you when you're whole like, oh, I want to order those creepy boxes off of eBay and open them up and make a YouTube video about it. I remember some of y'all saying that shit.
And if you do want to do something like that, if you want a Dybbuk box, by all means, just leave us a comment down below, and or send us an email at the callingcouplepod@gmail.com.
I'll send you a Dybbuk box. I got a few of them. I'll send you one.
Yeah.
You give me that, Mom. I'll give you the box.
Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised what you'll get inside that box, but we would suggest that you don't fucking open it, but that's up to you.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to buy a Dybbuk box by Sage, you're more than welcome to hit us up and let us know, because we will sell you one, no problem. But, yeah, no, it was so crazy how much he was getting threatening messages. And
I do want to add there is a difference between a Dybbuk box and a dark web box.
Yes.
I'm not offering you a dark web box of unsolved murder cases. Okay, that's not what I'm doing here.
Yeah, because
I'm talking about a Dybbuk box, which is totally different.
That are quote unquote cursed or holds demons and all that kind of stuff. So that would be a Dybbuk box. And if you're not understanding what we're talking about, go back and listen to some of the episodes, especially the episode of Witchcraft is Which, and you'll understand what.
Or the ghost one.
Yeah,
because we talk about Dybbuk boxes on our ghost episode a little bit.
Yeah, we literally stuck our finger in an asshole of that one. Like we just went bloop, and then
exactly short term but memorable.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're just like, you know what? I kind of like that. Can you go a little deeper?
I might want to like dive into that a little bit, you know? Well, we got you.
Yeah,
we got the quote, winky face, Dybbuk box you.
let me just go ahead and get some saliva going. All right, let's do this.
All right, let's do this.
So no, this guy really got some fucked up shit, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And
the more things he opened and all that. I'm saying those voodoo dolls real got me good, man. Those I could tell those were homemade. They had the satchets inside of them, the hair, the teeth, like the smell that they kept describing coming off of it. I was just like,
Well, and also with that being said, not only did the USB drive have pictures of the trailer.
Oh, yeah, and they never even touched on that.
They didn't touch on that, which I thought was...
we recognized it immediately.
Yeah, immediately. They ended up going to Mississippi to get to that trailer.
Yeah, they followed the coordinates in the box.
What is a common practice down in Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia? Voodoo.
I did not make that connection. I'm dumb.
Either voodoo or what's the other one that they had? Hoodoo. Yeah. It kind of all started making sense.
I don't really know a lot about hoodoo and voodoo, but I hear like hoodoo is like, I don't know if it's actually a religion or if it's like a ripoff of voodoo. Like it's a Hollywoodized version of what real voodoo is.
I don't know. But it was just like, okay, so you already, once you got down to Mississippi to that trailer, you started if you put all the things that you see in these videos together and start connecting the dots.
Yeah, connect the dots between the three different boxes.
That it makes you either think, now, unless this guy was smart, which he has to be because the police hadn't known anything about this. And I'm not talking about the guy that's sending the boxes. I'm talking about the guy that
has done the
is in one of the videos that you do get to see.
Yeah. They name him.
Yeah, I can't remember what they named him, but
Father Tom?
Oh, no, I think that was a different case.
I think that was related. I really think it's related. It wouldn't have been in that box if it hadn't been. It was on the USB.
Well, no, they're saying that was probably a different box.
Oh, okay.
Because like I think he got 4 boxes in total, but
we'll just cut that out.
Well, no, we'll leave it. It's fine. But no, seriously, guys, you guys go on YouTube and check it out. But no, like the connections of everything that they were doing and how everything was tying in together. And the reason why I say that this guy, I think, was either smart, the guy that was doing all these killings, if he was doing it nowadays, which I highly doubt because some of the clothing that they were receiving, the shoes and stuff like that looked like it was more 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s clothing. And where they find these tapes at is in that abandoned trailer. But it's also one of those, like, you can go onto Mindseed TV, Mindseed, SEED TV,
and find the videos we're talking about.
Yeah, and they actually have it into all the videos into one collaboration, to where you can get to that and watch the entire thing. Because if you can watch each individual video if you want, but they really do rough sum it into one video that is really good. And that's the one that we're going to be really going off of right here. So, like the guy, they find 2 VHS tapes. Now, in the package that they had gotten with the Father Tom one that you're talking about was a VHS. So they were just like, okay, we've got to have this fucking converted over so we could watch it, because who the hell has VHS players anymore? Which, I mean, honestly, you still can find VHS players. They're not that hard to come by. But
there was a VHS box in one of the...
Yes, there was a VHS in one of the boxes.
Okay.
In the Pastor or Father Tom one.
I thought that was on the USB, that little short video.
No. That was in the very first box. That was in the little girl's backpack, and it was in a stuffed bear that he ended up cutting open the stuffed bear, finding a ceramic heart jar that had the USB inside of it.
Yeah, what's the odds of him? Oh no, that's right. He said that when he was holding the bear, he could feel something hard inside of it.
Well, and you could also hear something rattling in it.
Never mind. I would have opened it too.
So then they find the VHS deal. So then fast forward to a couple years later, he gets another box, and this one had surgical tools, had bunch of little different stuff in it, creepy stuff like kids' shoes, fucking just a bunch of little things. And then all of a sudden, he picks one thing out of the box, and it was another ceramic heart.
Another ceramic.
And that's where he started thinking, "Holy shit, this has to be the same dude."
It is the same person. It's a tied up ceramic heart.
Yep, it was tied up again. But this time, he opens it, and there's human teeth inside. And
it's not just like baby teeth or something. These are extracted teeth.
Yeah, and that's where, God, man, you guys really need to go see this. But the reason why I'm saying I think that this guy is a fucking either. If he's nowadays, he's smart, but in the conditions they found those tapes and how badly they were in rough shape.
It's an abandoned kill spot.
Right, but at the same time, the condition of those tapes shows that it was probably back in the early 2000s, maybe the 90s when he stopped. And whoever's got a hold of this stuff, this information, he's the one that is selling all of it on the dark web. Yeah. But, I mean, it's just too coincidental that this, like, unless this dude, unless this guy was like young as shit doing this, which I highly fucking doubt, because it's kind of hard to fucking be a kid trying to get away with all this stuff.
With how many like shoes were in that place?
Yeah,
we haven't got there. Let's finish the story before we start talking about the place.
Are you looking for a new phone plan that won't cost you an arm and a leg? Well, here at the CCP Communication, we offer the best plan out there. We offer a lifetime phone plan for the low cost of $300 a week per plan. Get limited calls, $1 per word texting, and the best out-of-service range we can offer. If you sign up today, you'll get our new Nokia 69. This all-new phone is supplied to us from the back of a sketchy guy's van. Simple to use. Just pull out the antenna and wait for the dial-up tone to make a call. This phone has the top quality camera that is used by every police suspect's photos as seen on the news. Text your family, your friends, and loved ones with ease on the new vintage-style rotary pad. This phone also offers a 50-foot cord for a short battery life, so you could still move around. Come learn more about our amazing deals today by visiting your local CCP Communications. If found, return to these coordinates.
Those geographical coordinates. What's that called?
They are latitude, longitude coordinates.
Those.
And it led them straight to a trailer in Mississippi.
And as soon as Gage and I saw the trailer, we knew where we saw it.
From the
very first fucking box years ago.
In the USB drive, he opens it up. There is pictures of a trailer house. Two pictures
of like a decent trailer house. Like it wasn't destroyed yet.
It was run down, but it wasn't like dilapidated like it was when they
actually got there. Yeah.
But it was damn near. It was the same thing.
I think that picture is from when he decided, like, hey, an abandoned trailer house. This is the perfect location.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that any of this is staged because it just seems too coincidental to be staged. Of these guys, like, oh yeah, we're trying to do what we can.
Oh, and ain't no YouTuber out there got that kind of fucking patience. That was a long running. If it was all staged, that's a long running joke.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we could look it up and see if it is, because they said they eventually turned everything over to the police, right?
Yeah.
We could just look it up.
Yeah, we could.
It would be public record.
We'll do. We'll do like the most minute fucking investigation ever. Because I'm gonna probably get off of this podcast and be like, man, you know what I'm on?
You talked about it. I don't really want to.
I'm just like, okay, so let me type it in here. Somehow I'm on Pornhub. How the fuck did this happen?
Okay, worst case scenario, it was a really entertaining story. Oh, actually, best case scenario, it's just a really entertaining story.
But
worst case scenario, it was all fucking true.
Okay, so they. Flash forward to just the tapes alone. We'll just stick with just the tapes. The tapes are fucking...
They found the tapes in the trailer house.
Yeah, they found one. And the first tape that they found two of them in there. And they were just like, okay, well, we'll just take one. Because these guys didn't live in this area to actually stick around.
They just wanted to get the fuck out of there, so they grabbed the tape and just got the hell out of there.
Yeah, and so they took it to Las Vegas, had it cleaned up and processed and even put on...
That's the kind of a penny to do these days.
Yeah. And so they fucking got it done, and they said that when they watched it, it was disturbing. And that's a video you do get to see, and it is kind of disturbing. I mean, it's not like as bad as the second tape.
Well, I'm gonna.
Well,
the first one we can tell them.
Yeah, the first. I was getting there.
Okay, I didn't know.
The first one is like you see a guy digging in the ground, and
the camera angle is like he set the camera on the ground, so it's at his feet.
Yeah, and it's almost like he doesn't realize it's recording, and
it's like he just dropped it there.
Yeah, like he sat it down and
it started recording.
Yep. And then you hear him go over to a trunk, pull like this ruffling of a bag, like hits the ground, and dragging it over there, and you don't get to see it in the camera shot, but you see him go back to digging a little bit. You hear the bag move, while you see him in frame, not near it.
Yeah, you see his feet in frame. You never see his upper body because the camera's on the ground.
You can hear, or you watch him go back over there with the shovel, and you can hear the shovel slamming against the bag.
Yeah.
And you can hear the shovel slamming because it rings like it slipped and hit a piece of rock.
Yeah, and you can also hear the whoosh of like when you hit a trash bag with something.
Yeah.
That paper sound.
Yeah, the air getting moved around and shit. Yeah. So you hear that, and then all of a sudden you do see him drag the bag over to inside the camera frame. Uh-huh. You never get to see what the guy looks like because it's just set up just right to where it keeps him out of there.
Yeah,
but
that's why I think he did know what he was doing. I think he did know he was recording. I think, and I think he knew that it was just out of frame enough. Like they'll know, like whoever's watching this is gonna know what I'm doing, but they won't have any identifying shit for me.
Yeah, because it was almost like he was like, if I get caught sooner than he... And, I mean, you could tell those tapes have been there for a long time. At least 15, 20 years.
The little...
reel-to-reel inside of them?
The cogs, the little white cogs inside of them were, like, already degrading. Yeah. Like, they were yellow and literally already degrading. So I'm like, that's old for plastic to be degrading already.
Yeah. Well, and they weren't in the best... element conditions either.
And they were exposed to the
so that was the first tape, and they were like, yeah, well, after seeing that, we really didn't want to go back to go get the second tape.
Yeah, because that was scary to them.
Yeah,
these aren't cops, these are just fucking YouTubers.
Yeah, and I would highly suggest don't ever fucking do that, people. Don't ever try to go out there and do that, because especially if this person is sending you that stuff, this person is tracking you.
Also, he sent you those boxes. He knows exactly where you live, so he's gonna know when you leave. Like, he's probably sitting there watching you, just getting a fucking kick out of this.
Mm-hmm. So they go back and get the other tape. They had it processed, and they were just like, it was so graphic. We could not even show you. We show you a snippet. Even then, it is blurred.
They literally could only show 5 seconds, and it was blurred. And because of YouTube policies and all that kind of stuff,
they couldn't even talk about what was on it because it was so graphic. Like
they said, that blurry 5 seconds, could have gotten them kicked off of YouTube because of what kind of video it was.
Yep, and even with the blur, you can see that
it was enough to know exactly what was going on that tape.
Yeah, and it's fucking even 5 seconds. It's rough.
They played 5 seconds of the video, but they played about 15 seconds of the audio.
No, it was about 5 seconds. It was about 5 seconds altogether.
No, because the video itself was 5 seconds, but when it went black screen,
oh, that's right. Yeah,
the audio kept going a little bit.
Yeah, it kept going, and yeah, it's fucking rough. So after the second tape, that's when they said, okay, enough. Like, they really wish they could fucking just erase that from their mind.
Because they didn't even want to make the video of explaining anything, because they said after they watched that video, they turned everything over to the police immediately. The police told them to pretty much stay off the dark web. Don't do anything about this case. Just leave everything in this case alone. Leave it to the police. Leave it to professionals. Like, wash yourself of anything that's been going on in that and all that kind of stuff. And the only reason they posted a video about, like, what's been going on is because of their followers. But they, him and his friend didn't even talk for a little bit after that because they couldn't look at each other without thinking of that tape.
Yeah, and they said the tape is long. Like, the first tape was maybe 5-8 minutes long. They said the second tape was just extremely long. And they watched the entire fucking thing, which I don't know.
I think they were just in shock. That moment, and you realize, like, I can't, like, my brain isn't processing this. So they pretty much probably just, they were mentally frozen. They probably were forced to watch it,
Yeah.
I would be.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh my God. Like, I have to keep watching because my brain's like, this can't be real. This must be a fake.
Yeah, and I think that would be one of the things is that they were just like, please just tell me that this is just a fucked up movie, not real.
Pull the wool out, like, this isn't real. Like, where's the gag? Waiting for that punchline. But it was real.
But yeah, even just that little bit of audio and the 5 seconds of blurred.
Man, I didn't even need the blurry.
The
audio was enough for me.
Yeah.
I can still hear it.
Yeah, and it's definitely one that I know some of the people that that have watched it or heard it and all. Like, oh, well, that could just be fake. All this and that. No, there's differences between acting and real fear, and that is real fear that you hear. That is not
because it wasn't a pretty scream. It wasn't a horror woman.
That was straight up a plead.
That was a my life scream.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And like I said, we can't even talk about too much detail on it because we will end up getting banned on this episode.
Yeah,
because
remember how they blurred a bunch of the stuff they were saying? They kept cutting words out.
Yeah,
like certain cue words.
There's things that we cannot talk about on this because it goes against the policies and it's dangerous topics to talk about.
You might have to go back and cut out the bound and stuff words off the dolls because they did. They talked about the bound. They even showed it, but it was the actions of the report that they got from Pastor Tom that they had to cut a lot of that out because those keywords are the ones that get you banned. But no, yeah, like we learned from watching that as well as being a fresh YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff of things that we can't talk about that will get us in trouble and stuff like that. I don't know what they are. We probably already have.
We'll
be caught one day.
No, because every video that I upload is checked. They go through it and all that to check it to make sure that there's no. Yeah, they send it through a system to make sure that there's no triggering words or any copyrighted shit that's in them to flag them. So that's why it's like if I posted something that said a certain thing that we're not supposed to, they will be like, whoa. No, you can't have that. So, even though that it's really one of the last free speech platforms that you can, there's still some things you can't talk about, and
I agree with that. There's some things that you probably shouldn't.
And it's only for our listeners' sake. It's not for us. Like we may feel a certain way about these topics, but at the same time, it could be harmful or damaging to any of our listeners, and that's why we are trying to be respectful of that nature. But other than that, Donald Trump, grab him by the pussy.
Jesus.
So yeah, just seeing all that kind of stuff really just opens up a whole fucking spectrum of making you think about like if how many serial killers are still active to this day.
Oh, thousands, I'm sure.
Oh.
And I mean that, and I like thousands.
Yeah.
Like, I know we have lots of stories of people being caught and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just like, fuck those stories. They got caught. What are all the people doing it right the fuck now?
That have never been caught.
Yeah.
There are thousands that have died and never got caught.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about the ones that have died. I'm talking about the ones that are alive, still doing it right now. This very fucking second that you're listening to this podcast. There's serial killers out there plotting their next move. Or they're in the middle of it.
Well, you know, right now there's probably listeners that have listened to our serial killer podcast and was like, well, Gage, didn't you sit there and say that the statistics of running into one is like extremely rare? Yeah, to be killed by one. But to running into one, no, that could be very common. And you would never fucking know.
And
because they may not be going after you, but doesn't mean they ain't there.
The statistics are all ran based on how many have been caught. Like, oh, well, there's only this many serial killers ever recorded. So if you put that into now times and how many people are in the world and how many people have died, then it's only this. They're not counting all the serial killers that were never caught. Mm-hmm. That's not. There's no number because they've never caught.
Yeah. Well, like in the 1980s, I remember hearing a statistic on that of there was from 1980 to 1989, there were over 200 active serial killers in that era alone. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, 200, that's not bad out of billions of people.
Like, 200 serial killers where?
Oh, I can't remember if they said it was in a specific state or if it was just across the nation of America.
200 serial killers in a 10-year span, just in America, mm-hmm. That is humongous.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge.
That's a huge number. And that's not counting the 90s. 90s was known as the deadliest decade.
Oh, I thought 80s was.
No, 90s was the deadliest decade.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But that's not counting that because the 90s we had several more serial killers. We had a lot more cults that came out.
Oh, we had cults that would. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that would be the difference. We're like mass murder.
Yeah, that's
serial killer murder.
Yeah, that is the difference.
The 90s would be considered the mass murder era.
Yeah, with a lot of things that went on, I would say that, but it was still recognized as the deadliest decade.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But there was still a lot of active serial killers. I mean, Eileen Wuornos was active back then. Fucking, you had quite a few of them that were just active at the time, and a lot of them haven't been caught. They are still investigating them to this day.
Great.
Mm-hmm. With that being said, I mean, like, you really don't know who can and is a serial killer. Like, you would never know unless they were completely fucking obvious. But even then, like, you could run. You know how, like, you go into a Walmart and you walk by dozens of people at a time.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember any of their faces?
Most of the time, no.
Most of the time, no, because especially if you go to a Walmart that you've never been to.
Oh, yeah.
You pass by hundreds of people at one time.
Yep.
Never remember one of their faces. Nope. But the odds of one of them being the serial killer in there are, what is it, like 100 to 1.
Really? It's just 100 to 1, huh?
I would give it that because you never know.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
Oh, fucking look it up.
No, I'm just saying,
I mean, like, don't take my statistics true on it.
What I'm getting at is I want to say the actual statistic and then tell you why it's wrong. It's wrong because they're only basing it off of how many serial killers have been caught. And like I said, we don't have the number on how many who never were.
Yeah, and we don't have the number on how many active serial killer cases there are right now that they are searching for. Because if there were only just a few serial killers, we wouldn't have near as much true crime material. Like, we'd have been like, okay, well, we're good. And there's a lot of true crime material out there of serial killers because there are so many that are still active to this day or still unsolved to this day. I mean, it took them over 100 years to even come close to figuring out who Jack the Ripper was. We have the numbers and we have the case files, but we just don't want to tell the public because honestly, it'd be fucking terrifying to know the actual statistic of running into a serial killer.
So, apparently it's only 0.00015% chance of running into a serial killer.
Oh, bullshit. I would say that number's a little higher than that.
It says that's in the United States.
Still, the number would be higher than that with how big our population is. Thank you, baby boomers.
It's going based off our population. it says 329.5 million people in the United States, and the serial killers make up about 0.0012% of the population, meaning you only have a 0.000015% chance of ever running into one.
That's still a good chance. That is still a good chance, because who's to say that they just stay in one little spot? I mean, there's been serial killers that we've heard about that fucking roam, like highway killers and shit like that. They cross state lines. They do all that kind of stuff. So it's not unlikely. I'm not saying it's completely impossible or any of that, but it's still one of those things that you could fucking just walk into a gas station and
I'm not saying, and we're not saying that you're gonna get killed by a serial killer.
No,
we're saying the fact of you seeing one, just with your eyes, and you're not gonna know. It's gonna be a normal person to you. You're not gonna know they're a serial killer. Yep. We're just saying you don't know that person on the subway with you hasn't been a serial killer.
I mean, that's just like walking by somebody who's done heinous acts against a child or devious acts against an unwilling person. You would be surprised how many people you could walk around that have done those acts and you would never fucking know until they were caught. I mean, in our town alone, there's probably several of them that we've walked by and we don't know. We don't know what their actions were, but they just look like ordinary people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what makes them. That is what makes them even more scarier, is the fact that they blend, and they blend in very well, and that's why it's hard to fucking trust people nowadays. Mm-hmm. Unlike back in the day, when we grew up, where you could go and do stuff like that. Yeah, sure, those things were still happening. It's not like they weren't, but we were still being taught on how to look for those things and not like. When's the last time that we've ever heard any of the kids nowadays being taught stranger danger and shit like that? Like, we're not being taught, or they're not being taught that shit like we were growing up, to where we were like, hey, if somebody approaches you in a car, what do you do? And shit like that. So, I'm just saying, it's very dangerous now, especially with the internet and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really fucking scary. It's scarier now than I think it was growing up when we did.
Actually, I kind of did the math on the serial killer thing I just looked up real quick. Mm-hmm. And it is actually scarier than you think it is. It says out of the population, like I said earlier, it says out of the 329.5 million people in the United States, 0.0012% of the population are active serial killers. Meaning right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3,954 people who are active serial killers on the loose right now.
And yet again, you're just like, well, that's not that big of a number.
Those are the ones they know of.
Yeah, that's not that big of a number compared to millions, right? Well, even still.
That's the entire population of our hometown.
Yeah.
That's 6 people short of our entire hometown.
And they're spanned out across the entire, just our nation alone. Yeah, that's not counting Canada, Mexico, Russia.
And just in the U.S.
Yeah.
That's U.S. active serial killers.
And what's crazy is, like, if you take that and you put it on a global span, you're looking at close to maybe several 100,000 serial killers across the globe.
Oh, and just to, like, kind of prove that a little bit, my family and I went on vacation to Branson, Missouri. And you know where we live, right?
Yeah.
What are the odds of us running into someone from our hometown there?
Oh, fucking at the same time?
At the exact same time we're there.
Oh, man, that's a real, like, that'd be being drunk as shit, throwing a dart at and hitting a bullseye. I mean,
it happened twice.
What?
It happened twice.
Same person?
No.
Oh,
different years.
Okay, that would be even scarier.
It happened different years, different times, and it was not the same people. But I'm saying the odds of running into people, like, you think they're small and all that, but, like, you know.
Ooh, yeah, okay, I know what you mean.
They're not.
Yeah, there was a childhood friend that I grew up with. We went to church and all that. Like, we were really good friends growing up as kids. And then I moved to Oregon. I moved back here, moved to different towns, all this and that. And I ran into him 15 years later in a different fucking town. Like,
different state?
No, same state, but just in a completely different town where I never thought he would be, because where he lived was predominantly that area.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, I'm next door neighbors to this girl, and I was friends with her. Went over to go hang out with her one day just to see about smoking some weed or some shit, and walked in. And she had this dude sitting on their couch with her, and I'm just like, oh great, here we go, another one of her fucking piece of shit boyfriends and all. And he kind of looked familiar. Of course, I hadn't seen my childhood friend in forever, so I didn't recognize him. But she was like, hey, we're going to go over to his mom's house real quick and grab some stuff. Do you want to go? And I was like, sure, why not? Let's fucking go. So I go over there, and I see his mom. And I'm like, you look familiar as fuck. Like, you look familiar as fuck.
You said fuck to someone's mom?
No, I was saying all this in my head, by the way. I was raised with a little bit more respect than that. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, man, she looks so familiar. And I'm looking at the family photos on their wall, and then I seen his sister, and I'm like, you guys... And because I already knew his first name, so I was just like, hey, is your last name so-and-so? And he's like, yeah. I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, we grew up together. Your name and shit? Did he remember you? Yeah, we both fucking were just like, what the fuck? And we were like, what is the odds of not seeing each other in so fucking long, of running into each other like this? Like, it's a very slim odd.
I have one like that too.
But that's where that's how I could relate that with what you were saying of running into people in Branson. It's very fucking odd, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, the odds are slim. Maybe not as slim as in the same state, as you guys both grew up in. I have a similar story about the same state, in this state, and running into a high school friend at a convention in Tulsa.
The furry convention?
No.
Oh.
The anime convention.
Ooh, anime. Aww. Okay. That it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know if you wanted me to go into detail.
Yeah, go into detail, man. Fucking tell me. Like, did y'all get it on, or like?
It was a dude, so no.
No, don't. No.
And it was it was that first time I went to Tokyo, Tulsa by myself.
Ah.
And I ran into a high school friend there. And I was like, dude, I haven't seen you in forever. I can't believe you're here.
It's like, you now remember me in high school? I was a little kid in the back wearing Pikachu house slippers and a Naruto headband.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, fuck. I miss him. So, yeah, I mean, all we're trying to say is that it is not that uncommon or unlikely to have crossed paths with a serial killer, and you just never knew it. And you just never knew. That is what makes it more scarier. And the fact is, they could be working right next to you right now, and you have no idea. You have no idea what they're fucking doing with their lives. Like, you could be working in an office cubicle with them.
Dude, they could be like the normalest fucking people too.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you do for a hobby? I just murder people.
Yeah.
Murder.
I'm not gonna steal theirs, but
I know.
No, and it's one of those just like, yeah, can I get a double decker quesadilla and all this and that, and it's just like, yep. And while they're back there, they're just like, I would so fucking I would torture you so bad right now. Here you go.
Sprinkling the last bit of
and then whenever they clock out of work, they're just prowling the town of just finding their next victim and shit. And then whenever they find them, they're just sitting there thinking about you while they do all that stuff of just you Karen and fucking and
simmer down, buddy.
Well, they're just taking out all the frustrations there. Just like, oh man,
they're barking at the person.
Debbie shouldn't have looked at me like that. God damn it. But no, I mean it is very. That's to me that is what's scarier than a Hollywood horror film. Is just knowing, and the fact that you do know is what makes it like I can't trust people. I can't trust anybody because you never fucking know. So yeah, serial killers, man. Like it's just fucking crazy. Like and man, that's why it cracks me up seeing all these like TikToks and Instagram reels of these women that are just like, I would love for a man to kidnap me and do all these things and all this and that, and it's just like
talked about the glorification of murder of serial killers.
Right, but then it's just like, I get that you think that's hot until it becomes where it goes past the lines of fantasy for you and fantasy for the serial killer that's been stalking you. Of like, yeah, no, if that's what you want, I'll find you. I will. I have a particular set of skills. And that's that. But it's not like it's not like that you're safe on the internet, because as we said earlier, there are people out there that they do this just for fun to hack into your shit. So be careful of your content, because you might be putting out the wrong message that you don't want. Like, you may be like, no, I was just doing that just to follow a trend. Well, to someone else, they may be like, no, that's what you want. That's what's in my head of what you want, and that's what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah, and they're going to get in their mind that they're doing this for you. So,
mm-hmm.
And they're already, vulnerable-minded people. Like, it wouldn't take much for them to snap. And if they think that you want them to do it, and trust me, they'll talk themselves into thinking that you really do want it. So if you go around the internet saying that you do want it, a normal human being is going to know that you're joking. They know that it's a trend. A disturbed individual is going to be like, oh, so they want me to do this. So I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything bad. They want me to.
Well, and I'm
doing this for them.
It also goes on the same lines of not just serial killers, but the content you're putting out. You're leading yourself up for your next door neighbor, your people that you went to high school with, all this and that see your content, and then if they see you out and about, that's a good way for you to get assaulted, because they're just like, well, this is what you've been putting out of what you want, so I'm just going to do it. That's what makes it dangerous, and that's where I say, be cautious of what you are putting out. Like, don't just put shit out there because it's funny, it's sexy, it's trendy. If you are, you need to be more cautious of the people you're around, because you don't know what their mental state is. They just you may run into somebody that had a high school crush on you, and they see your content, they follow you and all this and that, and then they just happen to see an opportunity to make all your content come true because that's what you want. And then you're sitting there just like, no, this is not what I wanted. That was just all fun and games. That's not who I am in real life. Well, the disassociation of real life and social media is no longer there, people.
Yeah, people think social media is real life.
Mm-hmm. They have for many decades now. Many decades. So I would just say be careful and legalize prostitution.
Yeah, definitely legalize prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
Might help with some of these situations.
Do you have anything that you want to add to this subject? Because it's just one of those, like, I could keep on going of the same thing of like.
Yeah, I think we're just repeating ourselves now.
Am I repeating myself? Am I repeating myself?
You're repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself.
That's it. One shot. That's all we have. We shot it. Our shot is shot.
You're repeating yourself.
You're repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself. I just say be cautious out there, guys. Don't be crazy. Don't go on the dark web. Be cautious for your content that you're putting up. If it helps with things, create a complete different persona for yourself. Like, don't use your real name. Don't tell people where you live. Don't do any of that kind of stuff. If you say you're going to live somewhere, give them a broad spectrum, or say you live in a completely different other state or area, region, and all that. That way people, it makes it a little harder for them to track you down, but it's not impossible.
If you're using your Google account, they have all your information, because all your information's on your Google account. Like your search history, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why all those scam artists who are just like, that hit you up about like, what would you do if I put this much money in your Cash App right now? And you're like, oh my God, like, yeah. They're like, send me your Cash App and I'll send it to you. And you send it to them. Well, you just sent them your Google. So now they have access to your Google account.
Yep.
And your Google account has everything. If you pay for stuff online,
yep,
you use it in your Google account. So
yep.
They have your cards now. They have all this information.
They have your social security number. They have everything.
Yeah, Google like has all your shit. And if somebody gets a hold of your Google account, they have you.
Yep. And it's not like Google sitting here saying like, oh, no, everything that you give to us is completely protected, because it's really not.
It's not.
I mean, they're just one of those like, yeah, we'll just make it easier for you to use or to get things and stuff like that. But at the same time, you're not paying us to be over secured to protect all your shit. So, I mean, it is what it is. Hey there. Are you an avid hunter or a fan of fishing? Well, come on down to Buck and Reels and get all your hunting and fishing needs. We've got guns, camo, bait, apparel, boats, and ATVs. Even if you don't hunt or fish, but you want to look like you do, we have a whole line of big bitch selection. You can fill your house and vehicle with items to let people think that you are an outdoorsman without getting your hands dirty. So come on down today to Buck and Reels, where our prices are so low, we'll have you saying, "For Buck and Reel?" I think the next time when we come and talk something like this, we need to talk about Colts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Colts would be a good one.
I think we should talk about. And I know everybody's like, well, what about your religious episode that you guys have been talking about doing? We want to, but we just want to kind of be like, at the same time of, we're trying to look at this podcast as like if we were drinking, which most time we are. That
I don't really want to talk about religion or politics.
Because we don't talk about those stuff when we are drinking, so we're kind of trying to keep it that same way. Like we've dabbled with it, we've kind of told you some of the stuff, and we'll.
I gotta get out of this room, guys.
Yeah, it's hot in here. I've already had to strip. I'm almost naked in here right now, and
it keeps burping and it stinks.
Thank God I can cut that out, because I'm just gonna leave it to where it's just hot and I'm stripping.
No.
But no, I mean, like we'll drop things here and there of fucking our religion or our political views and opinions and stuff, but I don't think we really are just gonna dive into a whole fucking episode, because it's just one of those, every time it's brought up, it becomes a heated.
Yeah, it's too heated because we just don't have the same views.
We don't have the same views, but we also don't. We have a hard time coming eye to eye with it, to where it does make it a little hard for us to want to sit here and record, because then by the time we get to the end of it, we're just like, you disgust me. No, we're kind of mad at each other. Then we have to go have angry sex, and then I have to delete everything that we just recorded because it just was rah 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 rah. Sex? Yeah, sex. yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, the sex is great after those conversations, but I don't think people want to fucking hear the buildup of that shit. So
yeah, and they're just like, they're gonna have sex after this.
Well, you got some of them that are just like, yeah, go have sex. Wait, take the microphone with you.
Take the microphone with you.
But other than that, guys, we're gonna talk about Colts. I would love to talk about Colts of like Jim Jones and Heaven's Gate and David Koresh and shit like that. Like, I mean, it's...
You weirdo. I don't know none of those names. Why do you know their names?
Because I've listened to several other podcasts that talk about Colts. And
you and your podcasts.
Podcasts
are gross. Who listens to those?
I know. No, what's so bad is I've become narcissistic, where I'm listening to our own podcast and like, I'm just kidding.
So am I. It's okay.
But no, we'll get into that, because I mean, there's some fucked up ones. Like Jim Jones was fucking psychotic, so psychotic, and things that they've done in there. Of course, I have to, like I said earlier, there's things I have to cut out of when I talk about those because of YouTube's guidelines and stuff like that. But
you start sounding culty.
Look, if you're a woman that has lost her family, her way of life, and doesn't know where she belongs in this world, by all means, come visit us at West Women's Eternal Spiritual Treatment. We will take care of you here. You can live independently on your own under the rule of one, masters.
Oh, you ruined it with the word master. You must have me sold.
Nah, man, like, so I want to do that. We're going to talk about Colts on our next big topic, but for now we've got some goofier stuff that we're going to be coming up with. I think we want to talk about like our favorite things of Supernatural and the show Supernatural, some movies and stuff. Like, we're going to lighten it up a little bit because we've been kind of dark and gloomy. So
like, what are you watching right now? Right now we're watching The Mandalorian, and it's been pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
We watched The Last of Us, so yeah, Pedro Pascal just like kind of rules our world right now, I guess.
Pedro Pascal is just ruling everyone's world right now.
Man.
He was in a successful fucking movie with Nicolas Cage, successful video game adaptations, successful science fiction world.
Yeah, he was in Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
The man has captured the world.
Yep.
He's been initiated as the new leader of the Illuminati, I'm sure. Speaking of cults.
Oh, yeah, no, that's in there.
Maybe that's the initiation to be the new leader.
God, can you imagine Pedro Pascal and Ryan Reynolds doing a movie together?
It wouldn't be a movie. That would be called a porn.
Yeah, they would call it Daddy Yes.
Ooh, I know. Aren't they remaking Brokeback Mountain?
Why? Why would...
I think they... Oh, no, I'm serious. I know who can play him now. It's going to be Pedro Pascal and Ryan Reynolds. Perfect.
Well, no, because we're already...
Oh, my God.
We're already tiptoeing on a Brokeback Mountain comic book movie, Deadpool 3, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman. I mean, those two already bromanced, and you know they're going to sit there and do a whole Brokeback Mountain joke.
I am excited to see that movie.
I am too.
We are tangenting.
We're
talking about Deadpool 3 during a serial killers documentary. Or podcast.
Well, we did say it was going to be a tangent, so we tangented. We said what we were going to say. We gave people some things that they can go check out. And if you really want to check some stuff out, I sell my butthole pictures for...
Oh, my God. You want a sticker? We make stickers of your butthole.
Oh, my God, yes. Yes, I would love to do stickers.
Butthole stickers.
Yep. And I would just sit there and say, put them on your car. Put them on your kids' keeper trappers for school. And
aren't they trapper keepers?
Keeper trappers.
Trapper keepers, right?
Yeah. Huh?
What?
So many people... You put them on your Palm Pilots.
What? What is that?
You don't remember a Palm Pilot?
No. You know I was in the woods playing boxes as a child. I don't know what anything is.
Well, a lot of the people that are listening to this are like, either they're like, damn, Palm Pilots, that's about the same age as a fucking pager. Or they're just like, what the fuck is a Palm Pilot? Like,
well,
what ancient Aztec technology is a Palm Pilot?
I'm with those people. What the fuck's a Palm? No, for real though, what is it?
It was a old handheld computer organizer. It wasn't even a cell phone.
I thought it was gonna be some kind of music player.
No, it was one that had like one of the first stylus pen computer contraptions. Yeah, but it was all like electronics. No. It was more of like a.
What is the modern version of it now?
Well, the only version that it was inspired from was like those little black books, a daily planner. That's what they were, but it was electronic, so you can go back through and reschedule and shit like that. It was
a planner.
Yeah,
an electronic planner.
That's really what the gist of it was, because it wasn't like you made phone calls and shit like that with it. Yeah. But hey, that was high class back in the day. Okay.
Who had one? Let me know. Put down in the comments if you had one.
Yeah, if you had a Palm Pilot. Well, if you're a hot MILF, just let me know, and we have fun. We will have fun. I would love to see what your itinerary was back in 2001.
You feel me.
I know, because they're just like, well, what about Sage? Oh, she'll be there. I'm
waiting in the closet, watching, breathing heavy.
Yeah, and some of the MILFs are like, let me just check my Palm Pilot. All right, so I think that's all we're gonna talk about. That's all, folks.
Copyright.
Right. So, do you have anything that you would like to add before we close this one out? No. Okay. So, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, because it has been difficultly fun. Difficulty. I feel like Harry.
I said Divic.
Yeah.
Divically, that's funny.
I know, but I was stuttering like I felt like Harry Potter and the.
Diagonally.
Yeah. God damn you. God damn you. I was gonna fucking say it.
You weren't getting there.
I was getting there, but you kept talking. I was trying to.
You say it then.
No, no, it's over. Okay, so guys, if you really did enjoy this, though, leave us a comment down below of some spooky stuff that you would like for us to check out, and we'll try to dive into it, but don't expect a whole lot.
And give us some advice of should we or should we not start a cult?
Yeah. I mean,
what would catch your attention on a cult? Like, what would be your selling point?
yeah. Let us know what you want. and we'll make it happen.
No, I don't promise none of that. I ain't got no ability to make nothing occulty happen.
Well, that's
I can't promise shit, man.
All right. Well, if you know how to start a cult, please let us know, and we'll try to bring it up to you our next episode.
Wouldn't that be a great funny one? If we just like did a whole episode about like like a spoof episode of like how to start a cult.
You know what?
We're doing it.
That's going to be on our agenda. We will come up. You guys will get surprised with an episode.
So you definitely got to hit us up so we can like add those things in.
Yes.
You know. So hit us up. Put it on in the comments and say like what we need to add to our cult link.
And we will add every single bit of it.
We will add it all. So add some goofy shit in there.
Yeah. Let us know. And if it's really inappropriate, great.
Yeah, even better.
But leave us a comment down below on what you think of this episode and some future stuff that you would like for us to fucking dive into, because we will. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe, but make sure you get that bell, because you want to be able to keep caught up with us. You want to know
when we're doing this episode.
Because it's already hard enough for me to try to get out there and promote and do all that.
Hard? Is it hard?
Shh, I'm already half naked.
I know you are. I can't get my eyes off of
you. It's fucking hot in here. It is hot in this room, and I couldn't do it, so yeah. my moobs are out.
Your moobs.
But yeah, leave us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be caught up, and stay tuned for all the new stuff coming in. Please leave my nipples alone. And if you would like to send us an email of talking more about stuff to where you can be a little bit more anonymous and you're not on our comments, leave us an email at callingcouplepod,
POD@gmail.com.
The callingcouplepod, POD@gmail.com. Jesus, I fucking...
Oh, no.
What?
The dark web has our Gmail now.
If we get any anonymous fucked up stuff, I will immediately review it and then turn you in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so send it to us.
I was not promoting that. I mean, if it just happened to show up.
I was talking to the audience about sending us the stuff. I was off that subject.
Oh, okay, because that did not line up.
My bad.
But other than that, man, we hope to hear from you, and we hope that you guys stay tuned, and we hope that you don't get killed by a serial killer. And we hope that you don't have to run. We hope that you don't have to run into one anytime soon. So,
but guess what? You did.
Yep.
You saw one at Walmart and you didn't know.
Yep. No, you saw one at the back alley of the video store. Oh wait.
They don't have those anymore.
God damn! What decade am I in? Is it the deadly 90s?
No.
Am I still there?
No.
Fuck.
I wouldn't call them that if it was during the deadly 90s. Silly goose.
Oh man. That's right.
Anyone want to buy a silly goose?
Yeah, and so other than that, I've said what I said.
Caw. Bucket of Larkup.
Oh! You want me to continue to do that one? And if you're out there living life, try to stay clear of any serial killers or anybody that's willing to do you harm. But make sure that you are living the best you can by fucking it up, Buttercup. So.